Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 30-minute workshop for this week. First week of, first January webinar workshop we'll be hosting so far this year, so we're raring to go. This is Matt Sykes, a systems engineer here at Variphy, and I'll be your host for today's workshop. Today we're joined by my good friend Mike Stratton, aka Magic Mike, another systems engineer over here at Variphy. Hey, Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Doing just fine. Okay. All right, for today's workshop, we're going to cover search support for inactive values in Contact Center Express. So Mike's going to be taking us through this new exciting feature due out in Variphy 13.1 version that is slated for release next week. Okay, we're going to start off with a quick overview of our company and what we do. We'll jump into a live demo where Mike was going to take us through where the inactive user options within UCCX reporting will be and how to go ahead and use this new logic for them. We'll pause for Q&A and get some of your questions answered. During the demo, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the Q&A panel in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, not the WebEx chat, but the Q&A panel. I'll be monitoring both, though, but please use the Q&A panel. After Q&A, we will reward one lucky attendee with a $50 Amazon gift card, so hang around and see if you may have won. So a quick overview of Variphy. Variphy is the preferred analytics and management solution for Cisco collaboration. We provide industry-leading CDR, Contact Center Express, and Cube analytics, along with fully customizable dashboards, remote phone control, change and DID management, and coming right around the corner, Zoom phone analytics and dashboards. But today we're going to be focusing on how we can report on Contact Center Express inactive users. If you have any questions on any of our other related features, or if you have any interest in taking part of the Variphy Zoom beta testing, please feel free to chat me up in the Q&A panel or reach out to your account manager for additional information. Okay. One more piece that we'll talk about before we kick Mike off into the wild will be Variphy's consulting services that we offer. So we do provide enhanced consulting services that provide a one-on-one basis to remotely include training, additional consulting, unassisted reporting, dashboarding, configurations, and even system monitoring resource. Think of it kind of as an extension almost of your organization, so you can allow the Variphy SEs to do all the heavy lifting within the application for you. If that is of any interest to you, feel free to go ahead and reach out to your account manager, or you can reach out to us at support@variphy.com, and we can talk with you more in depth about our enhanced consulting services. Okay, with that mouthful said, Mike, we're going to go ahead and head into the wild, and I'm going to pass you the ball, sir, so take it away.
Excellent. All right, so today we are going to be showing off one of the newer updates included in Variphy version 13.1. This is going to be introducing support for historical values within the UCCX agent search criteria. Previous versions of the software did not have the ability to include inactive resources within these search criteria. So what I'm saying is basically in CCX, when an object is deleted, it's not removed from the database, it's marked as inactive. These inactive entries were never really included within the search criteria, and the inactive agents were not, are not included in the reports. And that all changes with 13.1. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here I'm running the demo or the updated software on my laptop, which is going to go into create an agent report for my UCCX cluster. So in the basic sections at the bottom here, I can create an agent search set by clicking on the green text. It has a search set, and then I can give it a name, and then I have 3 different criteria options: agent, resource group, or team. I'm going to go ahead and add all 3. What you'll see here, the new update, is basically everything revolves around this toggle that's been added to each of the criteria. It's called Show Historical Options. So with the toggle set to its default disabled or turned off option, when I click on the drop-down list, it'll show all of the active entries. This is what you would see in the versions of the software prior to 13.1. These are all the active agents, resource groups, or the active teams. Whoops, go back here. So now turning the toggle on, if I go to agent, I turn it on. When I go to the drop-down list, now I have, I'm going to see the active and the inactive entries. The inactive entries will have a flag icon to the right of the name. So agent 38, 39, 40, all of these entries here are, existed. They were active once, but they were then deleted by, the contact center administrators. So I can see here, I have Adam, Adam's active, and then Abraham here is inactive. This logic applies for the resource groups as well and for the team. So I can see uh, the Bills Lombardi Party is a inactive resource group, and then they also a couple deleted teams from the list of teams. So um, and that, in a nutshell, I mean, is kind of it. We're bringing the ability to select inactive entries. You can mix and match, inactive agents with active agents with, active resource groups and inactive resource groups, or just teams or inactive teams, however you want to mix and match the entries. So it does allow you to pull in, historical or inactive entries as long and they'll also pull in, inactive entries or inactive agents when you're only looking for teams or resource groups. Um, and there's a couple of important notes there. So first of all, each entry in the agent criteria. So down at the bottom here, each entry in the list now includes an entry for each unique full name and agent login ID, because there could be different employees in the past with the same full name. So now we're grouping everything in the lookup based on full name and agent login ID. So if you see multiple entries in the dropdown or in my sample report here, there's different Erics. There's multiple Erics. You can see that each Eric has his own unique. Make it a little bigger here so you can see what I'm talking about. So each Eric here has a different login ID. And so this data is some of our lab data for our demo system. So it's been manipulated a lot. So we're going to see a bunch of different Erics. And so you will get, a row for each unique agent and login ID combination. And there's a couple different ways to bring in inactive agents into the report. So the first way to do it, or the first way to actually, the one way it will not bring in inactive agents is if you run a report with no criteria. So if I were to get rid of the agents, team, and resource group and just run the report for all agents, it will not automatically bring in the inactive agents. So if you have a report set up to run for all agents and you upgrade to 13.1, you will still see the same list of active agents in the report. So to bring in the inactive agents, the first way to do it would be to create an agent search set that brings in, where you manually select the inactive agents by turning on the historical options, and then you can select which agents you want to see. This will then bring in the inactive agents, assuming that they were active in your search window. And the same thing applies. So, and then the second way would be if the user uses the team or the resource group search criteria, whether it's active or inactive. If like here, if I select the CSR team, I'll bring in any inactive agents that were active during the search time window. What I mean by that is, let's say we have an agent named Bob, and Bob left the company 2 years ago, but he was part of the CSR team. If I run my report as it is for the last 60 days, I will not see Bob in the report because he was deactivated 2 years ago. However, if I run my report for the last 3 years, I will see Bob in my report because he was active within my search time window. So if you are including teams or resource groups without the agent criteria, you will see inactive agents in the reports, assuming that they were active within your search window. The third way to do it would be if I'm using back to the agent criteria, if I select just any agent, I say is not. So if I'm including agents where it says is not, then it will bring in any agent that was active within your search time window that is active or inactive within the database. So a couple different ways to bring them back in. And with that, I think we can pass it back to you, Matt, if we have any Q&A.
Fantastic job as always, Mike. Let's see. Do we have anything down here in the Q&A panel? I do not yet. Let me go ahead and just, I guess, ask the audience here. So, everyone, we're at the Q&A portion of today's workshop. If you have any questions or concerns on the content that Mike has just shared or something related, please feel free to go ahead and chat that to me in the Q&A panel in the WebEx right now, and we can address it live. I will give probably about 1 minute for those fingers to hammer away at the keyboard before we press on.
While they're typing, if they are typing, Matt, I'll go ahead and also point out that the this feature or this logic is not included in the CSQ report. it was broken off as its own update, so we should see the same logic applied for historical or inactive CSQs. That'll make its way into the software in a later update.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I definitely know we've the inactive users, the agents, we've always wanted to get them out of there. All right, let's see. We've got something trickling in here. All right. So the question here from Kevin: what would include state information for active and inactive agents? Well, that's a good one.
What would include state information?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we would see state information either within the it would be the same way. So in the within the report, I mean, you can include the state details, agent statistics. I mean, this criteria here will affect the agent statistics, the state details, and the call details as well. So as long as you filter correctly, so if you want to say you can manually select your agents or pick a team, and if you, as long as they were active within that search window and the data is within contact center, and it hasn't like been purged, then you would see it either in the state details or within the state statistics as well.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's nice to actually. We're flagging them with a flag, which is nice to see.
Yeah, and I also forgot to point out too, Matt, before we go, that this logic is also coming over into the widget, the agent statistic details widget as well. It's the only historical agent widget that we have within the dashboard, so you could also include the historical options there as well.
Yeah, those toggles are huge. Awesome. Any other questions from anybody else? That was a good question, Kevin. We'll take that. But any other questions at the moment, go ahead and feel free to answer them into the Q&A panel. If not, I'll give another 15 seconds or so and press on. As always, Mike, great job there. All right, Nat, we've covered Q&A. All right, so the moment we've all been waiting for. And the winner of this week's $50 Amazon gift card for this week's workshop is David Singh. Woo! Congratulations, David. Your account manager will be reaching out to you shortly to get you paid. Okay, now everyone, before you jump off, don't forget to join us next week where John and myself will showcase Variphy's new computed ring time metrics that will be included in our upcoming Variphy 13.1 release due out next week. Okay, we'd like to thank all of you for taking the time and joining us today. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Take care, all. Thank you.